Hey folks, Daily Landsblog for April the 8th, 2018. I'm going to give a speech in St. Catharines for an event put on by still one of the nicest guys that I ever met. One of the people in my life that seems to look at me like I'm something special in a way that I probably haven't seen since my mom was healthy. His name is Dan Giancola. He kicked for the Toronto Argos. He was a guest on OTR in our early days, and he was just, I think it took him a couple of years to get over calling me Michael and not Mr. Landsberg. But he does an event every year, and he picks different charities, and this year it's a mental health thing. So I'm hitting the road, and I'm wearing a tie. And what do you think, Case? Pretty good job?
Yeah, but is it too short? You
Well,
won't know until you stand up.
no, you're never gonna know, right? Because at this point you can't really tell, right? It's just hanging down here. Anyway, this is a really tough day for a lot of people. The bus crash in Saskatchewan for with the Humboldt hockey team is just one of the worst stories that any of us have ever heard. And it's like when I remember when I was a kid, my parents used to worry about me a lot, and my brother and I would drive up skiing, and they were so nervous always about us driving. And you know, when you're a kid, you can't ever understand the fears of the parent until you become a parent, until you worry about that one over there and her brother Corey. And I just, you know, I'm trying to think of what to say because normally I obviously on this blog talk about mental health, and you know, obviously there's just a terrible tie-in with mental health, and that is the traumatic event that has taken place is going to touch everybody in that community for so long. You know, Casey and I and a couple of other people from SickNotWeak were recently in North Battleford, Saskatchewan, and what I noticed was that hockey is the glue for these communities. Everybody is associated in some way to the hockey team. If you have a kid that plays, if you used to play, if you coached, or if you just feel a pride in your hockey team. It's amazing how in Canada it really is hockey first and foremost before everything. And for that community to have lost these young people and older people too is just heartbreaking. And I just the only thing I can say from a mental health perspective is that this will cause PTSD in the entire community, and that everybody is going to have to look at themselves and say, hey, how do I get past this? Because I don't think human beings were meant to get past things. I think sometimes the correct reaction for the body is to be traumatized by it. And unless you face it somehow, not today or tomorrow, but sometime, it's going to linger forever. This will be the kind of thing that a community talks about for a couple of generations. It's terrible. And, you know, I would say, you know, my thoughts go out to the families, but the families aren't watching this. I always think how there's a certain arrogance if you suggest that people would be listening to your words. But I guess what I really want to say is that's it. Sometimes, you know what? No words are the best words. SickNotWeak.com. 24 hours a day, 364 days a year. We're here, and sometimes I wish we didn't have to be.